Gimbals are pretty cool. Birds sound so beautiful this morning. Let's get to this. I'm going to be removing this door panel here. So I'm going to start with this. You got to be very careful when you do it. There's clips up on the inside, so get yourself like a screwdriver or something you can slide in there that's very thin, because you can break a section of the plastic underneath that holds the clips in, and this thing will be flying around, popping out. You'd have to go buy a new one or epoxy it with some tin in there, and I'll show you what I mean once I get that off. So you got a couple of screws down here. There's also a couple screws here, screw there, and then once you get all the screws out and that little panel, the whole door panel there will pop straight up. So you got to look around in there, find that metal clip. It's a very busy road out here, lots of cars going by. You'll find that clip and pop that inwards. You got to push it in, and then it'll be just able to lift right out without breaking a single thing. With these housings for the switch panel here, these clips on the inside, right there and there, that house this metal piece, those will snap because it's very cheap plastic. So once you get this out, that's going to be one of the biggest pain in the butt things to kind of want to tend to make sure you don't break anything. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time that's been taken out, because it looks very clean under there. I did kind of gouge a little bit here with the screwdriver, but that's no big deal, because when you put it back in place, it's going to cover it up. Pop this out was fairly easy. Just get a screwdriver and put it up underneath where the most of these tabs are at. Pop those up, and for the mirror switch here, that's a separate harness, so just be careful when you're popping this out. This tab pops upwards. Do not break that, because otherwise you're going to have to find other means for it to stay when you're putting it all back together. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these and take this door panel out. Now the second biggest pain in the butt thing that I found with these cars is trying to take off the panel is you got to remove this door lock latch here, and sometimes it just doesn't come off the hook that it's placed on, so you got to just kind of finagle it off, just work it off. Okay, so this door panel doesn't pull straight out, you just lift up on it on the clips. Yeah, this one's being a little pain, but like I said, this one's probably never been taken off. Couple more clips, and she's out. All right, there are 3 7mm bolts that hold in the housing for this speaker. Looks like the splash guard ain't doing its job well. A little bit of moisture in here. These Camaros, if you got T-tops, are known to leak, which I totally hate. So you got to get that out of the way to be able to get to the window motor, which is one of the things that I'm replacing today. The window motor is back up in here. And what you're supposed to do is drill some holes so you can get to the rivets to be able to drill the rivets out. So you have to drill right into the door panel. That's something I'm kind of against. So I'm just kind of filling this out and seeing if I can go down to Home Depot or something and get myself a Milwaukee right angle drill to be able to finish this up. Replacing stock speaker with a Spore audio speaker. Too much glare there. So the one that I'm using is RPX65, and I decided to go with this because it has a 60 watt RMS, which usually is the low point for it to pretty much be powered the best. So if you have a system that only puts out 30 watts RMS, this isn't going to work too well. My system puts out 50 watts usually per channel in the front, So this might be okay. I didn't want to get any ones that were more powerful than that because it's not needed since I'm running the stock system and the stock monsoon amp that comes with the car. And I had to get some harnesses because I don't want to cut anything into that vehicle. So, GM speaker harness. I got these off of Amazon. Turbo wire. So you get it for the GM 1988 and up. So it's going to be 7mm bolts holding this in. Comes right out. So there's going to be looks like I'm going to have to pop out this whole assembly. See if this just slides off. There's like a clip in there. Might have to use a screwdriver to undo that. And then this harness is going to be replacing that harness there. Yeah, I hope it works. This one looks totally different sized. I did not want to do this, but to get that window motor out, I'm going to have to drill a little bit holes in there to access the rivets that are holding in the window motor. So I'm just going to use the open hand and the hammer, pry out this wire harness here. Just go slow. Got a little bent, but it's not too bad. It'll still go back in, hold in place. Plus, depending on your year, I guess, you'd also have this little strip tape here. I'm not sure. It's kind of sticky, but not really, but might end up using regular tape, duct tape or something to put that back in place. All right, so I got these areas marked off here, kind of back out, get a little better view. So right where I got those arrows pointing to those marks, I'm going to do what I don't want to do, but I'm going to drill a hole in it because it makes it easier. That way you can drill out the rivets that are holding the motor in place. What I've done here is wedge some cardboard, and I got a clamp with a rag at the end of the window here. So when you remove that motor, the window might come down, so just be prepared for that. Okay, so miscalculated. You can actually see the rivet there, rivet in there, and then we're down where this larger hole is already at. You can see the rivet in there. So I'm going to drill those out and pull that window motor out. Just for good measure, just start testing out the new window motor. So I went ahead and plugged that harness back in. See, it works that way. And then on the auto, see, I'm not even holding it anymore. It's just doing it automatically. So when you hold down that auto, it does it on its own until you stop it, or it stops on its own. Little side-by-side comparison here between the new and old motor. This one's all gunked up. I mean, it's been in that car for about, I'd say 18 years. Yeah. The car was built in July of 2002. It is now October 2020. So with this new one, it's got 12 teeth. That one there, not so much. It's got 9 teeth, so it's going to probably move a lot faster with this one, given that there's more teeth to connect with the railing. It's going to make sure all these holes and everything line up correctly. So I was able to plug it in, as you saw. I'm going to have to put this plug back in as well. This little plug fell out. Plug that goes right there. So plugged in, it worked. So let's get this going. So I got the new window motor in, and since it has 12 teeth and the original was 9, I think it's skipping teeth on the regulator. So the window is not going all the way up and down on its own. So I had to go to the store, give me another 9-tooth piece of junk here. This is a Dorman because it's all they had. I didn't want to wait, have my car sitting for a couple of days while I already have it all torn apart. So I ended up getting a Dorman one. So out comes the AC Delco 12 tooth. And going back in with the 9, because you can see that it's pretty separated there between teeth. The 12, there of course there's more teeth and they're closer together. So I don't think it was a lot meshing up with the track well enough to control it. Well, that was fun. New motors in. Just had a little bit of issues trying to get it all lined up inside there. But eventually it'll go. You just got to work with it. Maybe move the window up and down manually. I got to get that tint redone. This is terrible. They did a terrible job there. So that's that. That's nice and fixed. New motor and it's still slow. 9 tooth. Thought maybe a 12 tooth would work, but doesn't seem like it. So let's see if I can return that one. Think I'm going to cut it short for that one. I'm going to probably do another separate video on those speakers. Got everything all dismantled back here. Don't make fun of that. Sometimes you got to have birthday bags in the back for that special someone. Oh, hello, what's this? That's me. Anyway, so got these speakers here. These speakers hook directly up into the harness with the aftermarket harness. So that way you don't have to cut anything up, don't have to mess with the original hardware. I try to keep things as original as possible. Like I didn't even want to cut holes in the door panel over there. But you got to do what you got to do. The next time the window motor goes out, it's going to be very simple to replace it. Especially, that was my first time doing it. It wasn't too bad. It was just a pain having that wrong 12 tooth bastard there. And I was thinking maybe I could rip this 9 tooth off and switch it. But after seeing how much of a pain this was and how dismantled it became and nothing was coming of it, and it has this pin on the other side, like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So that does it for this video. I appreciate you watching. I got to put the part 2 for the headers on the Stang up soon. The thing's already in there. It's good to go. The only thing with that is, since the headers are new, you can smell them. As soon as they heat up, just got that metally twinge to it. That's right. So I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next one. This is Chemical Spore. Out.